Tonight, an incredible view of the Earth. The first pictures from Artemis II revealed.
You could see the entire globe from pole to pole. It was the most spectacular moment.
The mission on track towards the moon. The astronauts speak out from space, including Canadian Jeremy Hansen.
I really like it up here. I wish I could have got here sooner.
An American fighter jet shot down over Iran. The daring search and rescue mission. Toronto's new WNBA team drafts its first players. Why no Canadians made the cut for the tempo.
From CBC News, this is The National with Erica Johnson.
Thanks for joining us as the Artemis II astronauts hurtle through space tonight, carefully, precisely setting their course for the moon. They are starting to send back some of the images they're taking. The very first from the mission, these of planet Earth. NASA pointing out that in these shots is all of humanity, with the exception of the 4 crew members now so far away. And those astronauts are also sharing just what it's like to be there. Yasmin Renea with NASA's mission update and how the lone Canadian on board the Orion spacecraft is reacting to it all.
A wake-up song in outer space to start the day for the Artemis II crew bound for the far side of the moon.
Currently, the crew is more than 100,000 miles from the Earth and about 150,000 miles to go away from the moon.
And they're sending back their stunning view. These first images captured by astronaut Reid Wiseman.
You could see the entire globe from pole to pole. You could see Africa, Europe, and if you looked really close, you could see the northern lights. It was the most spectacular moment, and it paused all 4 of us in our tracks.
Wiseman, along with Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Canadian Jeremy Hansen, spoke to reporters for the first time since successfully blasting out of Earth's orbit.
I really like it up here. I wish I could have got here sooner. It's just such a tremendous place to be. The views are extraordinary. It's really fun to be floating around, and it just makes me feel like a little kid.
The crew updating the world on everything from sleep.
Christina has been sleeping heads down in the middle of the vehicle, kind of like a bat suspended from our docking tunnel. Victor's been up where Jeremy is right now. He's got a nice little nook wedged in there.
To fixing the vital spacecraft toilet.
I'm the space plumber. I'm proud to call myself the space plumber.
A striking mix of fun and hard work.
You guys look great.
NASA says systems are doing so well that a planned correction burn meant to fine-tune the spacecraft's path was canceled.
It shows that our navigation performance and our ability to get ranging has been outstanding.
They're now looking ahead to Monday's lunar flyby, where the astronauts will approach the moon and swing around behind it, taking photos and videos of a sight never seen with human eyes, a step towards NASA's grand plans for a moon base.
We're going back to the moon. We're going to stay there.
Already, Jeremy Hansen has gone farther than any Canadian before him. Erica.
And Yasmin, Monday's lunar flyby, that's expected to last about 6 hours?
Yeah, that's right. Over the course of that day, the crew will come within just 6,000 to 10,000 kilometers of the lunar surface. So close that picture this. To them, the moon should look at about the size of a basketball held at arm's length. And at one point, they will be completely cut off from the world when they lose communication for about 30 to 50 minutes when they go behind the moon.
Wow, that's something. Thanks, Yasmin. Yasmin Renea in Vancouver. To the war in the Middle East now. Iran has shot down multiple U.S. aircraft. One crew member who ejected is still missing somewhere in the country. And Sasha Petrusik shows us both the U.S. and Iran are rushing to be the first to find them.
As news hit Iranian state TV, the race was on. Go find 2 American crew members who'd been shot down, their fighter jet in pieces, and collect your reward. U.S. search and rescue teams were already overhead. 2 Black Hawk helicopters seen refueling. Their mission was to find the downed F-15E Strike Eagle. They rescued one of the crew after a few hours. But that was just the beginning of a bad day for U.S. forces. 2 Black Hawk helicopters in the search party were hit by Iranian gunfire, managing to escape. And a Warthog attack plane also crashed near the Strait of Hormuz, shot down by Iran. That pilot is safe. These are the first American combat aircraft lost over enemy territory after more than a month of fighting, after much boasting that the U.S. and Israel control Iran's skies.
Their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their missiles are just about used up or beaten.
Now, Iran's parliamentary speaker, Mohammad Baghir Ghalibaf, is taunting Trump online. He says this brilliant no-strategy war they started has now been downgraded from regime change to, hey, can anyone find our pilots? But Iran has also taken some major hits over several days of heavy airstrikes by the U.S. and Israel, mainly targeting infrastructure in Tehran and this bridge just outside it. Iran is responding with attacks in the Gulf, an oil refinery and desalination plant in Kuwait, a key gas plant in the UAE. With the second crew member from the F-15 jet still missing and both countries scrambling, Trump was asked what he'd do if Iran harmed the missing aviator. He said he's not ready to say. Erica?
And Sasha, Trump is saying that Iran's shooting down of aircraft won't affect peace talks.
Yeah, but that's if they're even talking at this point. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Iran has officially notified Pakistani mediators that it won't meet with American negotiators in Islamabad, and it's not ready to accept U.S. demands for a deal. Erica?
Okay, thanks for this, Sasha. Sasha Petrusik in Jerusalem tonight. Amid the war, the Trump administration unveiled a new Pentagon budget. It's requesting military spending be increased by more than 40%. And as Mike Crawley reports, that means cuts elsewhere.
An explosive increase in military spending. That's what Donald Trump is pitching to Congress, the U.S. president revealing his proposed budget for 2027. The highlight, another $441 billion for the Pentagon, a jump of more than 40% in a single year. A spike unseen in this country since the U.S. joined World War II.
There is no real justification. I mean, this number essentially comes out of thin air. This is completely out of line with what's necessary, what's possible, and what Americans actually need.
The increase would fund pay hikes for troops, dozens of new warships, including the Trump-class battleship, and kickstart Trump's Golden Dome missile defense project. It's on top of an extra $200 billion the Pentagon wants for the war against Iran.
A terrible idea. I mean, it's a massive shift in resources for the United States into the military out of domestic spending, but largely it's going to be funded by debt.
Trump proposes cutting non-military spending by more than $70 billion. Among his targets, slashing the Environmental Protection Agency's budget in half and eliminating what the White House calls woke programs addressing equity in housing and education. Trump revealed his thinking this week in off-the-record remarks that his staff posted online by mistake.
We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare.
The president does not control the budget's fate. Congress gets a say. And with many Republicans vulnerable in this fall's midterms, Trump's spending plan could be in for a rough ride.
I think it will be impossible for him to get this number through Congress. I think this is a complete non-starter.
And especially with polls suggesting most Americans oppose the war against Iran, spending hundreds of billions more on defense might be a political loser. Mike Crawley, CBC News, Washington.
The U.S. Secretary of War has fired a total of 3 high-ranking Army officers in the past 24 hours, according to reports from multiple U.S. news outlets. Pete Hegseth fired both David Hodney, who heads up the training for the Army, and William Green Jr., the Army's chief chaplain, in addition to the Army's Chief of Staff, Randy George, fired yesterday. It's an unusual move in the middle of a war in which the Army could play a growing role. No reason was given for any of the departures. A Canadian mother and her 7-year-old daughter, who were detained by ICE nearly 3 weeks ago in Texas, are now out of custody, but their ordeal is not yet over.
We're leaving Dilley right now. As you can see, we left in our jail clothes. It did not feel real until we see this place in the rearview mirror.
Tanya Warner shared videos of the moment with CBC News. She maintains they've been living legally in the U.S. for 5 years and that her immigration paperwork was up to date. Now she'll have to go through several hearings to determine if she can stay.
ICE fitted me with my own ankle monitor. So even though I'm released, I'm still detained.
Warner, originally from Penticton, BC, says they were detained at a state border patrol checkpoint. She says they've gone through others before without any issue. Canada's finance minister is wrapping up his trade mission to China. François-Philippe Champagne says the relationship reset between the two countries is going well, although some key tariffs on Canadian goods remain in place. Lisa Shing has more from Beijing tonight.
On his final day in China, Canada's Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne strategized with Vice Premier He Lifeng about how their countries can do more business together.
The very top leaders who really have influence, and all of them understood the importance and the excellence of the financial sector in Canada.
The Vice Premier is the main decision maker on finances and trade in the Chinese government and said Champagne's visit is a concrete step. After years of our relationship being at a low point, our economic and trade ties have been reinvigorated, he said. But for all the talk of increased cooperation, a 25% tariff still remains on Canadian pork and some seafood.
You need to build relationship. This is not transactional.
These meetings are a delicate start to a relationship reset, part of Canada's plan to diversify its economy and increase exports to China by 50% by 2030. Champagne suggests one inroad: export financial services like insurance, pension, and wealth management. But he says getting there takes time.
You can't expect to have more trade if you don't show up. You know, showing up is half of the work.
Canada is trying to step out of the shadow of the U.S. and President Donald Trump's policies, says this professor.
Canada can make its choices on the basis of its own interests, not to abide by only the rules set by its big brother.
So really the purpose of these meetings is to get the bilateral relationship back on track. Now, these efforts are happening as Trump himself is slated to visit China in mid-May, hoping to make a deal of his own. Lisa Shing, CBC News, Beijing.
Advance voting is now underway in 3 high-stakes federal by-elections. The Liberals just need 2 wins to secure a majority government. The Montreal suburb of Terrebonne had its election results annulled by the Supreme Court after the Liberals won by a single vote. The other 2 ridings are in the Toronto area and considered safe Liberal seats. Voting continues throughout the weekend, and Election Day is April 13th. There is strong reaction tonight against an Alberta government bill that seeks to control what kids 15 and under can see in their public library. The government says it's to protect children from sexual imagery. But as Sam Sampson reports, critics call it harmful censorship.
These are from the Calgary and Edmonton public libraries.
Alberta's government is moving to restrict access to certain books in public libraries.
We're not going to be removing any books from libraries or any library materials. We're just going to be requiring ones that are truly inappropriate to be put behind the counter.
The details are not clear, but the province says potential changes include physically separating materials with graphic visual depictions of sexual acts and requiring parental approval for children 15 and under to borrow these books.
And then it's a reasonable expectation to balance the needs of the family along with the ability for libraries to continue offering services.
The province has already directed school libraries to remove several books from shelves, many of which are award-winning graphic novels exploring gender and sexual identity. But the move to restrict access in public libraries concerns those working there. The Library Association of Alberta says it was not consulted on these changes and calls them censorship, adding library workers are trained professionals who already manage collections responsibly. Freedom of expression advocates say Alberta's government is purposefully presenting certain sections of these books without context.
These are books that are dealing in a serious way with issues of bullying, with issues of assault. These are books that might help Alberta's youth.
Does anyone seriously think that children will not take these images out of context?
Parents' rights advocates say they're relieved these images will be restricted in public spaces.
We'll see a lot more children going to public libraries unsupervised, and children browsing books by themselves is how education happens best.
The province says it'll iron out the details in the coming weeks. Part of that work, it says, is consulting library staff to make sure the changes are practical and clear. Sam Sampson, CBC News, Edmonton.
This is a big day for Canada's first women's pro basketball team. The Toronto Tempo is literally building its first roster from square one as the WNBA holds its expansion draft. Greg Ross shows us what's in store for a team that's putting this country in the big league.
Welcome to the WNBA expansion draft.
History in the making.
And then to the Tempo with the second pick. And they selected Julie Almond.
What a screen. Almond! Julie Almond is the first player named to the roster of the Toronto Tempo, the city's new WNBA team. The 29-year-old Belgian-born guard has been in the league for 3 seasons.
The biggest thing about her was just her ability to control the tempo and be a facilitator and a floor general.
Almond was the first of 11 players selected by the Toronto Tempo in the expansion draft from 9 different countries. None of the Tempo's picks were Canadian-born, but a Canadian did go to the Portland Fire, another new team.
Bridget Carleton went #1 to Portland from Chatham, Ontario. So I think there was a huge disappointment for Tempo fans and Canadian basketball fans that she wasn't able to go to the Tempo.
The Tempo's general manager says there's still time to add a Canadian at the league's main draft in 2 weeks.
We are really excited about the Canadian talent pool. It's absolutely on our radar.
The next great moment in Canadian sports.
Toronto was first awarded a WNBA expansion team back in December of 2024. The team's powerhouse ownership includes former Raptors GM Masai Ujiri and tennis star Serena Williams.
When you think of Masai and Serena, well, they have a huge and extensive resume when it comes to winning.
The Tempo hit the Toronto market at a time when women's professional sports is on the rise. They joined the PWHL's Toronto Scepters and AFC Toronto.
I think we've just proved that there is a strong Canadian market for women's professional sport.
The new players on the Tempo roster won't have much time to get acquainted. Training camp opens in about 2 weeks. Toronto will play its first preseason game near the end of the month, and then they will open the regular season on May 8th at home against the Washington Mystics. Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
There's a surge in demand for weight training, with research pointing to big benefits for older women.
Everyone, of course, wants to live forever. I mean, I want to do this for as long as I can.
What the data shows, next. Plus, the threat to India's coveted Darjeeling tea.
The climate has changed drastically.
How the change in climate is changing the taste of the tea. And the spotlight on space in real life and on the big screen.
It's now or never.
We're back in 2. The Milano Cortina Winter Olympics is reporting 0 positive drug tests. That's the first time in 28 years no athlete has been found to have taken a banned substance. More than 3,000 samples were collected from about 2,000 athletes. There's more evidence tonight about the benefits of weight training. A recent study looks at the benefits for older women. Shauna Reed explains why pumping iron could prolong life.
Building muscle, pushing their bodies to the max. For these women, getting stronger is the goal.
Just doing one arm if you're okay with that.
After 26 years as a personal trainer, Sandra Mazzoli is noticing a shift.
We're definitely seeing a bigger demand for strength training, and we're seeing older women coming in.
66-year-old Susie Kalachi started weight training 2 years ago.
Everyone, of course, wants to live forever. I mean, I want to do this for as long as I can.
And being strong may add years to your life. A recent U.S. study examined the muscular strength of 5,000 women between ages 63 and 99. It found that participants with greater strength had a significantly lower risk of death over the next 8 years. But maintaining strength for adults is key.
We'll lose about 5 to 8% of our muscle mass every decade until 50, and then the losses accelerate to up to 10% per decade.
It's estimated only 20 to 30% of people are meeting Canada's physical activity recommendations of 150 minutes of aerobic exercise and strength training twice a week.
It also helps us lower our blood pressure and to better manage our glucose and insulin levels.
Strength training lowers the risk of cardiovascular disease and may help manage menopause symptoms.
Resistance training isn't just adding years to the life, it's adding strength and independence and quality of life to those years.
As women age, they face an increased risk of bone density loss, falls, and fractures. More muscle can help prevent that.
You're going to start with your heels as low as you can.
For Edna Nicky, her fitness journey began after she had a heart attack and stroke in her late 70s.
And keep your back straight.
Now at 82, it's a daily part of her routine.
I can walk where I need to walk, and I can do all my daily tasks.
And whether you're in your 30s or 80s, experts say it's never too late to get stronger. Shauna Reed, CBC News, Toronto.
As the war in the Middle East enters its 5th week, Ukraine is stepping up support in the region.
Ukraine and Qatar have signed a defense cooperation agreement.
Ukraine's President Zelensky says his country has struck a deal with Saudi Arabia.
How Ukraine's expertise fighting drones could reshape the war. Plus, with Canada's wildfire season underway, how burying burnt trees could help the climate.
We bury them, issue a bunch of credits, and that pays for reforestation.
The National breaks down the stories shaping our world next.
It was really great to wake up this morning and look out the window and see the full moon.
That was Commander Reed Wiseman checking in with Mission Control. And take a look at these stunning shots the crew has sent back, their incredible view of planet Earth as they hurtle toward the moon. The box office hit Project Hail Mary is also putting space travel squarely in the zeitgeist. Magda Gebrselassie shows us just how often real-life exploration has been mirrored at the movies.
It's now or never.
Blasting into space, keeping audiences glued in real life and with fiction too. As the Artemis II roars towards the moon, it is mission accomplished for the box office hit Project Hail Mary.
It's a big, massive thing that really rewards being seen on a giant screen.
Having a hit space film while outer space makes news is really nothing new. Right before The Martian hit screens in 2015, NASA announced it found evidence of liquid water on Mars.
Neil, if this flight is successful, you'll go down in history.
The 2018 flick First Man, about Neil Armstrong's historic steps on the moon, was released just months before the mission's 50th anniversary.
My first love as an astronaut is, of course, spaceflight, but my second love is going to all these space movies.
I've had one previous space flight before.
Canadian former astronaut Robert Thirsk is part of a select few. Having been to space, he knows what films get wrong and right, too.
The technical realism is getting better and better and better all the time. It's just one problem after another that needs to be solved. That is realistic.
What could become real someday is making movies in space. In 2020, Tom Cruise and NASA had plans to do just that. Cruise was on a path to film aboard the International Space Station. No official word on where that stands.
I would love to see Tom Cruise come back for a Mission Impossible and do like just one scene out in space.
This movie critic thinks Hollywood could still go where no films have gone before.
I think that there could be a very realistic chance that this could happen in the next, 10, 20 years.
That may be the next frontier. Magda Gebrselassie, CBC News, Toronto.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world.
Darjeeling is a dying industry.
Dire predictions from farmers in India who say their famous Darjeeling tea is under threat.
The climate has changed drastically.
We're in the Himalayas, but first.
We offer the Middle East and Gulf countries a partnership that benefits both sides.
In the 5th year of its own war, Ukraine offers to share what it's learned about drone warfare with countries coming under Iranian attack. Andrew Chang, host of About That, explains how Ukraine's expertise in fighting Iranian-designed drones could reshape defense strategies in the Gulf states and beyond.
The Middle East has an impossible problem, and on a scale it has never encountered before.
Iranian drones and missiles continue to target countries across the Gulf region.
Iran has launched hundreds of them in retaliation.
This has been unprecedented for the Gulf nations.
Iranian drones, like the Shahed 136, are the ultimate efficient weapon. They're small, hard to detect, and devastatingly cheap. That last part's critical because as a defender, there's no cost-effective way of shooting them all down, and they're too destructive to let through. Except there's one country that knows better than any other, through years of punishing, relentless battle testing, how to solve this problem. And now they're entering the war.
Ukraine and Qatar have signed a defense cooperation agreement.
Ukraine's President Zelensky says his country has struck a deal with Saudi Arabia.
We offer the Middle East and Gulf countries a partnership that benefits both sides, our knowledge and technology and their funding.
Let me show you why Ukraine believes it can help reshape the war against Iran in the Middle East. On a really macro scale, so much of war is numbers. One of these Shahed drones, somewhere between $20,000 and $50,000 to produce, but shooting one down, use a precision anti-air weapon like a Patriot missile, those can be up to $4 million per shot. No one will ever be able to make that math work out. That makes these drones up to 200 times more expensive to shoot down than to shoot in the first place.
It's not a one-time exchange. It's not even a 10-time exchange or a 100-time exchange. When you have to be doing this in the order of thousands.
Which is no exaggeration, by the way. The United Arab Emirates alone claims to have shot down nearly 2,000 Iranian drones since the start of the war. In those numbers, in a worst-case scenario, you're spending billions of dollars in defense before Iran has even spent a fraction of a percentage point of its annual defense budget.
That math is going to quickly spiral out of control.
Even for a country like the United States that has an exceedingly large defense budget, the economics of this really does start to matter.
But let's make this real so you see how difficult a problem these drones really are. In our scenario, Iran has launched a single drone. It's carrying 100 pounds of explosives, which is enough to do this to a $300 million warplane, or this to a US radar installation, or this to a high-rise. They're also relatively small. Some birds have bigger wingspans than these drones, which makes them harder to see. Human spotters are more likely to miss them, and ground-based radar have a harder time catching them because of how low they fly, obscured by hills and buildings and trees. So this drone, unmanned on a one-way mission, designed to hit its target and not come back. To shoot it down, you've got options. Your most expensive are the Patriot and THAAD systems, each costing millions of dollars per shot. Terrible idea at scale. Even the more cost-efficient anti-air defenses we hear about all the time, though, Israel's Iron Dome, for example, one of those Tamir interceptors can still cost 4 to 5 times what the drone cost. Now, there are other ways to stop a drone. Let's say you scramble an attack helicopter up into the air with a 30mm cannon, We've seen Apaches shoot drones out of the sky and American fighter jets, downing them with Hellfire missiles. But there are limitations.
Air-to-air missiles are not cheap either. They can run into $500,000 or higher. And so, if you're looking at kind of cost comparison, something that costs 10x times what a Shahed does is still not a good option in response.
The challenge with using helicopters is that they are slower, and you would need many of them to be able to cover an entire airspace.
Right, because imagine now you have not one, but 100 drones attacking as a swarm. And they can attack from anywhere because you can literally load these drones onto the back of a truck and fire them out like catapults. Like I said, cost-effective and deadly. But Ukraine has spent years now struggling and overcoming these challenges. You've heard the expression, fighting fire with fire. Well, that, turns out, is particularly effective in drone warfare. Ukraine has been fighting Shahed drones, basically since the start of its war with Russia more than 4 years ago. Russia obtained thousands of them from Iran, and they became a key part of its strategy to overwhelm and wear down Ukraine's defenses over a long period of time.
From dusk till dawn, the Ukrainian capital came under another wave of Russian missile and drone strikes.
That was the scene as a wave of Russian drones and missiles rocked the Ukrainian capital overnight.
According to Ukrainian officials, it's had to defend against tens of thousands of Iranian drones since the start of the war. And they had to be cost-effective about it too, because the Trump administration's interest in defending Ukraine only went so far.
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. You're playing cards.
Ukraine was forced to develop this technology because her allies didn't give her existing technology, and also it was too expensive to be able to maintain.
What Ukraine discovered was that the only way to make the math of drone warfare work was to fight drones with drones. This is the Octopus. It's capable of chasing drones at more than 300 kilometers an hour. It's resistant to signal jamming, acquires targets automatically, and the cost? About $3,000. This is the Sting, a quadcopter the size of a large thermos, uses thermal imaging to hunt, and it's about $2,500 a unit. Here's the Bullet, jet-powered. Its parts can be 3D printed. All in, these drones can be built for under $2,000 a piece. And there are dozens of models out there, all made with the express purpose of countering Shahed-style drones. So now, the math looks very different. Cheap machines fighting cheap machines. And Ukraine has developed an entire infrastructure to make these cheap machines at massive scale, producing thousands of drones a day.
It's all about probability, and what you need more than exquisite technology is good enough technology in large numbers. And that's what Ukraine has figured out, and that's what they've mastered.
And it's important to remember, it's not just the tech or even the scale that makes Ukraine singular in its drone combat expertise. What makes Ukraine stand out is its integrated architecture, one that fuses radar feeds, early warning systems, and command and control into a single real-time platform. Or put more simply than that, Ukraine's expertise isn't simply in how to make huge numbers of drones. It's how to use them, coordinate them, even pilot them, which itself requires skill and training.
I really do think that sort of combat test, how it actually physically works in real-time conditions, there's only so much you can simulate that.
In February, Ukraine's army said their drone army was responsible for 70% of confirmed Shahed-type drone kills in the country's capital region.
They know how to produce them, mass produce them at scale, and also how to tactically integrate them into their wider air defense umbrella. And this is exactly the type of expertise, both the physical interceptor drones and then the sort of theory of knowledge behind operating these interceptor drones that Ukraine stands to provide the Gulf states with.
Now, let's be clear. There may be a price to be paid for Ukraine's involvement in a new war thousands of kilometers away, and that is the cost imposed by Iran itself. It now calls Ukraine a legitimate target for lending its expertise to America's Middle East allies. So on the question, is Ukraine now involved entering the fray of America's and Israel's war on Iran? The answer is unambiguously yes, which means more and more. Even if the war itself ends soon, as Trump often promises, its consequences, its ripple effects will not.
Now, positioning itself as a global supplier of military aid instead of merely a recipient, Ukraine says it's not just selling interceptors, but also software, electronic warfare systems, and maritime drones as well. Coming up, warnings from India about the future of the champagne of teas.
When we experience dry weather, we don't get that taste. We don't get that soothing taste, that flowery aroma.
How the effects of climate change are threatening the production of Darjeeling tea. Next. Often called the champagne of teas,
This has very floral taste.
the Darjeeling variety is under threat from the effects of climate change.
In the last 5 years, we've just had one normal year of rainfall.
As Salima Shivji tells us, the lack of rain and hotter temperatures are a new reality for those who, for generations, have run the highly regulated growing areas.
A tradition built over centuries in the hills of Darjeeling. Plucking leaves to produce what's known as the champagne of teas. Only that world-renowned taste is now fading.
Over the years, due to climate, the pattern has changed now.
Satish Mitruka, a third-generation tea planter, spends the winter months fretting about the weather and the future.
Darjeeling is a dying industry. The climate has changed drastically because tea is a rain-fed crop. It needs proper rainfall and in time.
And these plants aren't getting that anymore. This part of India at the foot of the Himalayas is seeing more torrential and erratic rains, like the ones that caused deadly landslides last October, as the mountainous region warms dramatically, experts say.
What happens in the Himalaya, as you go higher in the elevation, the rate of rise of temperature is faster. So that means glaciers are melting, floods frequency have increased. So all of these are having huge impact.
The change in climate patterns has also made dry winters the new normal, starving the tea bushes, affecting the quality of the first flush, the tea crop that fetches the highest price.
This has very floral taste.
The Darjeeling taste, light, fruity, and floral, admired around the world.
I like this one.
But Satish says the effects of climate change and aging, less productive bushes mean each year is now a toss-up on how bland that flavor might turn out.
When we experience dry weather, we don't get that taste. We don't get that soothing taste, that flowery aroma that thing comes.
At another of Darjeeling's famed tea estates, the same worries.
In the last 5 years, we've just had one normal year of rainfall. Otherwise, 4 years of drought.
The worst of it was last year, he says. Months of no rain wiped out the first flush and flattened the tea's taste, along with lots of revenue.
That is not the cup that is expected from a high-end Darjeeling tea. Then buyers don't want to pay. I mean, you can't blame them.
Production across all of Darjeeling's 87 certified tea estates is suffering. An industry that, at its peak, produced 14 million kilos of tea a year, only makes less than half of that now.
In a region like Darjeeling, where tea is so central, the fact that the delicate and floral taste that their premium tea is so famous for is slowly getting lost because of increasingly erratic weather is like a loss of identity.
An existential crisis, even. The younger generation is less inclined to take up the same trade as their mothers and fathers before them.
And we leave them for weathering to 8 to 10 hours.
Satish says his deep passion for tea isn't shared by his son, who's hesitating to join the family business. A loss that's hard to measure in a heritage industry, struggling to hold on to its unique flavor.
A nearly 4,000-year-old log found underground north of Montreal may hold a secret to cutting some carbon emissions. Senior meteorologist Johanna Wagstaff shows how it's tied to a radical new idea.
What if the secret to cooling our planet is just a giant hole in the ground? Canada's wildfires are pumping out enough carbon annually to triple the emissions of our entire economy. But it's not just what goes up in smoke. It's the charred logs and dead trees left behind, too far gone for the mill. That carbon will in time also be released, adding a second hit of CO2 back to our skies. Some scientists think the solution is to treat our dead forests like a vault, a lockup for the excess carbon. I'll explain. Just north of Montreal, a team of researchers digging through a farm field hit something solid, an eastern red cedar buried 2 meters down in clay. The log was 3,700 years old, but it wasn't a fossil. It was 95% intact. It hadn't decayed, and most importantly, it was still holding on to every bit of carbon it spent its life pulling from the sky.
We have a section of it we cut off right here. So you can see the very intricate pattern on the wood. If you knock on it, it makes this very nice solid sound.
It was that accidental discovery that got the wheels turning for one company.
So what we do is we basically take fire-killed trees on a landowner property, we bury them, issue a bunch of credits, and that pays for reforestation. We excavate out a vault, bury it, and generate carbon credits. Those fund reforestation in the area.
Mass reforestation led one of the first commercial-scale wood burial projects on a ranch in Montana. The goal? To store carbon from 10 million pounds of fire-killed timber underground. Carbon bunkers work by creating an oxygen-free environment, by burying wood deep underground in clay-rich soil that blocks air and water. Without oxygen, microbes and bacteria can't survive to begin the process of breaking down the wood fibers and releasing the carbon. And because these mega fires are becoming so intense and essentially vaporizing the forest's natural seed bank, the company uses the revenue from these carbon credits to reseed the land too. But could this become a global standard, or will it remain a niche solution for fire-scarred ranches?
As a forest ecologist, I think my questions would be immediately about if you use that technique, let's say in a harvested area, how does that impact the nutrient cycling, the water processes, you know, the ability for the decay processes that need to happen for them to happen. I think that scaling up into natural ecosystems like that, I'd have a lot of questions.
So where does that leave us? Well, for now, we may have more questions than answers. It's a pragmatic response to a burning problem, but we have to respect the ecological reality that a forest needs mess to be healthy.
I would say, so on one hand, this research shows, yes, it is possible to preserve for long time to combat climate change. On the other hand, it also cautions that it's not just randomly digging a hole or bury something that will work. And so it's important actually to do it the right way.
Ultimately, there is no one-size-fits-all solution, but maybe carbon bunkers are a fascinating bridge.
Coming up, a kangaroo's 3-day adventure.
We just started running after him. He darted into the woods.
The daring escape, sparking a days-long search, next in our moment. You're looking at Chesney, the kangaroo, all comfy in bed. At this point, Chesney had never been out in the wild. That changed when he jumped over a fence at a petting zoo in Wisconsin. Tonight, Chesney's journey in the wild and his eventual reunion with his owners makes our moment.
One of my kangaroos was spooked. A couple of unknown hunting dogs came onto my property and barked, and he scaled his enclosure fencing. A friend of mine shouted right away, "There's a kangaroo loose." We just started running after him. He darted into the woods. A lot of people were posting on Facebook, did I really just see what I saw?
Yep, he's going behind this shed.
We used a thermal drone. It actually looked like a little miniature dinosaur running through the forest because of their long tail. We couldn't find him again after that.
Maybe he's strange.
All of a sudden, Out of nowhere, he was standing right by the passenger door of my truck. He hopped right over. It was just unbelievable. He was missing for a total of 72 hours. His brother Kenny really, really missed him. I always say these are my second set of kids. He sleeps in my bed every night, so the relief just getting him home was amazing.
So you heard that right. Chesney sleeps in her bed every night and apparently also likes to sit on her couches. So he's kind of used to this comfortable life. I imagine being on the run for 3 days might have been a little hard on him. However, good to know he is now home safe and sound and probably tucked into bed. From all of us at The National, thank you for being with us. I'm Erica Johnson in Vancouver. Take care.